Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with JAYONBOXING here, giving you a preview and prediction for Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury 2. But before we get started, of course, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and be sure to leave your picks, your takes down in the comments section below. I do greatly appreciate it. And a little bit of fight info here. As mentioned, this is Usyk taking on Fury in a rematch. This will be at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, because every fight of note is, of course, going forward. This will be on pay-per-view in the heavyweight division with Usyk's Ring magazine as well as his WBA, WBC, and WBO heavyweight titles on the line. Well, the end of the year is here and we get one of the biggest fights to try and help close it out. A rematch from May. We get the best two heavyweights in the world with just about all the gold on the line. Almost all the gold. I digress, IBF. Back in May, coming from behind somewhat, Usyk heavily hurt and decisioned Tyson Fury to become undisputed champion of the world. Blink, and you missed how long it lasted. Still, it counts. Now, with Fury being defeated for the first time, get over it, Deontay Wilder conspiracy theorists, he's looking for revenge. Usyk, of course, is looking to cement his place at the top. A true career definer. Legacy building type fight and tons of money and the future of the heavyweight division all on the line. So definitely a fun one to break down and certainly a fight with plenty of stakes. But before we do break this fight down, let's get into some of the biggest questions about this heavyweight blockbuster. For starters, has Tyson Fury fully recovered from the 9th round? In that first fight, Usyk nearly stopped Fury in the 9th. Before earning a decision in the end. Some might argue a shot or two more and Fury hits the deck hard and he's donezo. However, to be fair, Fury was ahead on the cards before that disastrous round where he was quite literally beaten from pillar to post. Before being nearly stopped, Fury was doing some good things. His reach, boxing skills, they were on point. He was confident, and he even seemed to trouble Usyk with a few shots here and there. And Fury did this when, at times, he was playing up to the crowd and sometimes a bit less focused than you might think. Still, the question, does he have the confidence to get those things done again with what has happened? If he can redo some of that good is really dependent on how worried he is about something like that 9th round happening again. You also have to ask, can Usyk improve? Now, you guys might think, well, he won. Does he really need to improve? I mean, yes and no. If his game plan is to go in there, hurt Fury in the middle rounds, and then take over, sweet, stick to that. No need for growth. However, maybe a risky plan. If I'm Usyk, I'm trying to get going a bit earlier, reminding Fury of the second half of that first fight as quickly as you can in this second fight, as opposed to trying to have to rush the action late. So is it absolutely necessary that Usyk improve? Again, not absolutely required, but it does make his night easier if he's able to. And finally, I'd ask, will time catch up to either guy? Now, I'm old, and that's about all I have in common with the two best heavyweights in the world. But it's an important piece of information, because in boxing years, even at heavyweight, Usyk being 37 and Fury being 36 is up there. So does this catch up to either man? Of course, you don't know when it's time until it's time. However, if I'm to guess which man it catches up to, I'm guessing it's Fury, the slightly younger man for that matter. Fury is the bigger guy with more wear and tear on his body, natural and stuff he's put on it himself, and he has been in more wars. And he hasn't always treated his body as this magnificent temple all of the time. Time has a way of making you realize you don't get to do all of that for free. It'll be interesting to see, however, if Fury pays the cost on the night, perhaps the biggest of his career. So, all that said, let's get into this pick and break this fight down. Starting off with the champion, for Usyk to win, you want to get that faster start. Usyk had a solid round or two in the beginning for their first fight. However, it wasn't enough in my opinion. He let the bigger man in Fury work his way into this fight a bit too early. Instead, use those level changes that work so well for you and that brilliant footwork to keep Fury occupied, backing up, and you then get to let your hands go. Pressing Fury back is better for you. It takes away some of his reach and his movement, and it allows you to build into the fight as mentioned. It also allows you to step into your shots and land some of that over-the-top work, which worked very well for you in that first encounter, especially when you hurt him. You don't have to throw anything crazy, some wild way too far out shot. That ain't Usyk, baby. Give that arc to those shots to help accommodate the difference in height, and it can have some success. Get moving forward, push Fury back early and often, and land those big shots over the top as mentioned, and that should help you get off to that slightly faster start. I'd also say double up the jab. Now for starters, it pushes Fury back. Again, you are effective against Fury if he's going backwards and can use his size less. That just makes sense. It also stops Fury from being able to stop and sit down on his shots if you're forcing him to reset all the time. Just get it out there to disrupt his rhythm, and that's half the battle. You'll never want to just walk straight into shots, but at least it means you have slightly less power from Fury to worry about, and you can actually dish out some more of your own behind that jab, because it also helps set up a lot of your other offensive weapons. Again, the jab is a key that opens up the offensive door. Throw that jab, you can then throw the backhand behind it, more of those combinations, and it's all there for you. You also fight with more confidence when you are level changing and jabbing anyway. You get that Oleksandr swagger. It also allows you to set the pace, push the big man back as mentioned, and open up your offense overall. So what's not to love? The double jab should definitely be used if you're Usyk. And finally for Usyk, focus on the right hand. As a lefty, naturally, you're going to want to land the left hand, sort of in the name. However, that lead hand of Usyk makes a lot of sense to get going. Of course, as mentioned with the jab, but there's other things to be mindful of. Fury has the reach advantage, to say the very least. That lead right hand is closer and has to travel less of a distance to get there. So throwing that shot will benefit you as a long jab or even as that kind of corkscrew shot that you just get in there behind his guard. You can catch him off guard with it, and Fury had trouble reading that shot from the beginning, so it certainly is something you can emphasize, and switching it up could cause some problems for Fury as well. Again, you're a southpaw. You want to land the left, but this right hand still helps set that up, so this is all the more reason to use it. It just adds extra layers to your already impressive approach. So be sure to get off to a fast, consistent start, double up that jab, and work the right hand in general to get there quick, press him back, and set up the rest of your offense. Now, switching over to the challenger, for Fury to win, you want to take the initiative. Now, early on, it was a bit back and forth, but you definitely had your moments, and you seemed to take many of the earlier frames. However, that approach didn't hold up. Instead, you need to take more of that front foot initiative and keep Usyk from fighting his way back into the contest. You need to step into your work and come forward. You seem to be coming into this fight lighter. That's great. You're still the bigger man naturally and should use your size to your advantage. That means pushing him back as well as getting those longer shots in while he's out of range. And that can be as simple as winning the battle of the jabs too. That initiative could really determine the fight. If you get that jab going and tame Usyk, you have a much easier fight on your hands. So start fast, use your dimensions that you naturally have, jab his ass off, and get out the gate strong and consistent. I would also say land those underneath shots. Now granted, the bigger man going for hooks to the body or uppercuts can be risky, especially against a skilled guy like Usyk. However, if done right, it can pay off. You can't be throwing those shots too far out or leaving yourself too big a target. Don't square up, but instead do it if you're slipping his shots and it leaves him open. Also, do it if you're coming forward and in close. You're substantially less vulnerable then. You can be leaning on him, get into that safe range, and then really tax him. Usyk has been hurt to the body. Test that, and hooks are the Mensa of tests to the body. If it lands well, it slows his feet, and you just make sure that you're doing it from a safe range that suits you. At worst, it slows him down, but potentially hurts him, so it's definitely something that you have to try and work into this fight. And finally, stay sharp, stay focused. In your first encounter, you had stretches of poise and focus, but this is the toughest fight of your career. Let's not kid ourselves. It just can't be momentary. While Deontay Wilder made you worry about every shot, Usyk is more of a mental drain. He's forcing you to think in there. It's a very cerebral battle. Playing up to the crowd and dancing around doesn't win you this fight. Staying focused is what's getting you this dub. Yes, Ali, for example, was a showboater, but he knew when he needed to lock in. This is one of those lock-in moments. Keep your head on the task at hand, namely, starting strong, using that jab to keep Usyk in check, your size, attacking the body, and carrying that out throughout this contest. This fight is a battle of attrition, mental attrition. And surprise, surprise, you serve yourself best if you remain locked in for all 12 rounds. Now, in terms of my pick here, last time out, I picked Fury to win, going back and forth, but I did end up picking him, and that option is tempting again. However, I am switching it up and rolling with Usyk. He just impressed me so much in that first fight and with how he handled the size differential and a lot of the skill issues. So it could definitely get me wrong in this case and we end up getting some kind of trilogy out of this, but I am thinking Usyk does it. I think Usyk got so much intel from that first fight and he builds on it in the second fight. Might not have that dramatic 9th round, but he will do well enough to earn most of the rounds in a much more clean fashion this go around. Winner, Oleksandr Usyk via unanimous decision. Now, in terms of the betting odds here, we have Usyk as the favorite coming in at a -180 with Fury at a +150. We also have the over-under set at 10.5 rounds with the over at -220 and the under at +160. In terms of these odds, I mean, Fury makes sense. He was very much in that first fight, and you're getting 1.5 to 1. That's not terrible for an underdog. If it ends up moving closer as the fight progresses and Usyk gets more towards that even money, that definitely is a bet that I would look at, for example, considering who I happen to think wins this fight. But both options, as they stand now and as they might stand in nearing the fight, make sense. It being a heavyweight bout, the under also is always a little bit tempting, but again, maybe don't be fooled. These two are unanimous decision type fighters a lot of the time, so certainly keep that in mind. But in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is 46-19 with 24 exact, but let me know your thoughts, your bets, your picks, all that good stuff down in the comments. And of course, check out the social media up top, check out JAYONBOXING.com, subscribe, and check out another video here. Until next time.